Hi and welcome back. Today we're going to learn how to draw the TikTok logo only using CSS. So without further ado, let's start coding. So the HTML, it's only going to be this. A div with a class of TikTok. Okay? That's the only HTML we're going to write. In the CSS, well, first let's put the background to be black, because otherwise we are not going to see the logo. Then we're going to start creating the TikTok class. So first of all, we're going to say that this has a margin of 100 pixels auto. So this means 100 pixels on the top and down, and on the top and bottom, sorry. And auto means just center whatever we're going to do with this. Okay, now we're going to actually draw a box here with a width of 37 pixels and a height of 218 pixels. Okay, so now we're going to say background to be white, and now we have this rectangular box, this rectangle, which is white. So this has a width of 37 pixels, height of 218 pixels. Okay, nothing interesting yet. Now we're going to use the box shadow property, and first we're going to specify the horizontal offset, or the X offset, which is going to be 11 pixels, and the vertical offset, which is going to be 10 pixels. Now for the blur, we're going to say we don't want blur, and for the spread, we're going to say we don't want spread, so 0 and 0, and the color is going to be red, so it's going to be this kind of red, FE2D52. And now we have this like rectangle, but below the white rectangle, which in reality is just a box shadow. So just so you know, this is the blur. So if I say this is 10 pixels, then you can see it's blurred, and this is the spread. So if I change this, this box shadow is going to be larger, so that's why we set the blur and the spread to be 0 and 0. Okay, now we need also so we have like this part here. Now we need this like bluish part, and well, we cannot have two box shadows, so for that we're going to use something similar, which is drop shadow. So we need to specify the filter property, and we're going to say drop shadow. And the drop shadow, as I said, is very similar to the box shadow. In this case, we're going to specify the horizontal offset to be -10 pixels, the vertical offset to be -10 pixels, and the spread to be 0. Sorry, the blur to be 0. And very important, the drop shadow doesn't have a spread, so it only has blur. And then we need to specify the color, which is that blue. So yeah, now we have this part here. And very important, in order to create this part here and this part here, we are going to use the before and after pseudo elements. So this filter is going to be applied to both the before and after pseudo elements. Okay, let's see what else we need here. Well, we need position relative, because as I said, we're going to construct this part and this part using before and after pseudo elements. So let's do that. Let's say TikTok after, and this is a pseudo element. That means that this pseudo element, as the name says, they are not in the DOM, but they are like they are in the DOM, but they aren't. So for example, if I say before and after, so we're going to do this, TikTok after and before. So before means that this is going to be like here in the div, but it's very important, they are not going to be in the DOM. They appear to be in the DOM, but they aren't. And after is after this. So for example, if you have a children component here, for example, another div like this, before is going to be before this div, and after is going to be after this div. Okay, so that's just a little reminder of how before and after works. Okay, so I can make this a self-closing tag, and let's see what we are going to put here. Okay, so for the content, we're going to set an empty string, so nothing there. And that's useful, for example, when you want to put images and things like that. But in our case, it's going to be useful for writing or positioning a new kind of box. Then we're going to say position absolute. Okay, we're going to say that this new box is going to have a width of 100 pixels and a height of 100 pixels. Okay, and now we need to specify a border for this box, which is going to have 37 pixels. It's going to have solid, and yeah, you can see that the box is already appearing here. So let's see what happens if I set red. So as you can see that the box is here. Okay, we don't want the red, obviously, that's going to mess up things, but I just wanted to show you what are we drawing here. Okay, so instead of red, it's going to be white. Okay, so now it looks like a P, and what we are going to do right now is get rid of this part here, so of this top here. So for that, we're going to say border top color to be transparent. Okay, and yeah, so we got rid of that, and then we're going to say border radius to be 50%. Okay, now it resembles like a donut, something like that. Now we're going to transform this thing. We're going to rotate it 45 degrees. Okay, and now we are going to use so first of all, note that we have this filter here applied to this element here. Okay, and we need another filter here. Okay, but this time, well, first of all, it's going to have different positioning. So we're going to say 16 pixels of horizontal offset, and this, instead of in this color, it's going to be this color, which is red. Okay, so let's position this properly. We're going to say, hey, top 123 pixels, and left minus 137 pixels. Okay, so now it's getting closer now, but I wanted to explain you why we're using here a filter and not a box shadow. If we were using a box shadow, then no matter what the image is, then it's going to be rectangular. Okay, so we can't use that. We need something that is not rectangular, so something like that. And that's why we use drop shadow. So that's also another difference of drop shadow and filter. Also note that this filter got applied to this, but the box shadow didn't got applied to this after pseudo element. Okay, now we need to do this part here. So let's set content again to an empty string, and let's say again position absolute. Okay, and let's say that this has a width of 140 pixels, a height of 140 pixels, And here comes the interesting part. Border of 30 pixels solid. And first, yeah, let me draw this red again. So as you can see, it's like the same thing, but we have adjusted the width and height. So again, well, not again, this time we want this to be fully transparent, the border. So yeah, we don't have anything. And we're going to modify the border bottom color. So border bottom color to be white. Okay, so now we have this part of the box. So remember, it was like this, but now we only have this part. And what we're going to do with that? Well, we are going to bend it a little bit by saying the border radius to be 100%. Then we're going to transform it 45 degrees again. Okay, and we need to do just two things more. The filter with, again, drop shadow, and this time it's going to be 14 pixels, this vertical offset of 0 and a blur of 0, and again this color red. Okay, there you go. And now we need simply to position this correctly, minus 100 pixels for the top, and for the right it's going to be minus 172 pixels. And there you have it. We have the TikTok logo using only CSS. So I hope you like this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.